What is going on, everyone? We're going to start a little video series where we're going to play some of the Mortal Kombat games that were not included in the Legacy Collection. I don't have all the ones that were not included as far as the timeline they were going for, but I do have some of them. So we're going to start with PlayStation and some of the ones from the PlayStation system that were not included, such as the original MK3. All right, so we're going to start with this one, and as each video goes on, we're going to do other ones, you know, like Mortal Kombat 4 for PlayStation. Then we'll do some of the ones on Sega Saturn. I don't think any of the ones from Saturn were included, obviously. So we're going to do some of those, and then there's some from, like, well, there's the Sega CD Mortal Kombat and all that stuff. But today we're going to start with PlayStation and start with the original MK3. All right. Just going to play through it a little bit and see what's going on here on some of the games that were not included in the Legacy Collection. Why weren't they included? I have no idea. So they say legal reasons and this, that, and the third and whatever. I feel like if it was supposed to be a definitive collection, all of them would have been included. I mean, you included, oddly enough, Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance for Game Boy Advance, which I'm still not sure why. I'm really not. When there was obviously these other titles that would have been more valuable to be on the collection, especially like the Sega Saturn stuff. But anyway, let's fire up the PS1 here. Let's go over here. And here we go. Oh yeah. That classic PS1 sound. Might be a little loud, I don't know. Go to right here. Take it down some. That classic PlayStation boot up sound. My goodness. Yeah. Good old days, the good old days of 1995. And this was a launch title for the PlayStation 1. The original, I don't even like calling it the PlayStation 1. I just like saying the original PlayStation or PSX, right? There is a cheat code for this so that you can unlock smoke and stuff like that easier. We're not going to do all that. I think it's like right here somewhere. It's, dang, I can't even remember it right off the top of my head, so we're not even going to mess with it. But I like that it has the MK3 storyboards that come up at the beginning. You just don't get that too often. And I don't want that on. Go there. That's all we're going to do. Actually, I'm going to switch which monitor I'm looking at here. There we go. That's better. All right. Go Sub-Zero. Yes, sir. The good old loading of the PlayStation. I feel like it's not as bad on this versus Trilogy. I feel like Trilogy takes a little longer to load. That wasn't terrible. Still, it's there. And I have not used a PlayStation 1 regular controller in a minute. Especially on a game like this. Jeez. It feels small compared to PS5 and all that, you know? Good old original. Not even the DualShock, just the original. Look at that. Yes, sir. I keep forgetting. Keep forgetting the jump-in combo is not a thing on the original MK3. We'll pause there for the couple pauses for the fatalities.
Sub-Zero wins. Fatality.
Yep. The music and the music is great because obviously it's CD based, but the battle plan music isn't quite the same as the arcade. It's the same essentially, but in the arcade version, the bass and everything was emphasized a lot more, which you can actually hear on the Legacy Collection when you play the arcade version of MK3, or UMK3 for that matter. You can hear it, and you can tell that the bass was emphasized, and for good reason, because you would always hear that bass booming when you're walking up to the arcade. Man, miss those days. I really miss those days. The Soul Chamber, one of my favorite backgrounds in any Mortal Kombat game. I love the Soul Chamber. Music is great on it too. For a game that was going for a more modern kind of vibe, I guess you would say, a more, I don't know what kind of vibe, I guess modern, versus Mortal Kombat 2. Soul Chamber had that MK2 musical vibe, right? Other stages, they were like more hip, I would say. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for, hip, right? Whereas the Soul Chamber really embodied what MK2 brought to the table. I think that's probably why I really like it. Keep on going here. Of course, the loading. Again, it doesn't seem as bad on original MK3 versus Trilogy. Sorry about that. The feed cut off there. I had to start it over. It's all right. I caught it before we got too far here. Oh, come on. Now it's going to start turning into an asshole. Man, this controller just seems so tiny. There we go. Ah. Didn't do the pit. It's all right. I noticed other things about this version, and in Trilogy as well, but in this version, some of the voice samples from like Shao Kahn and whatever they're like, I don't know, pitch shifted where it's even deeper than it should be. Uh-oh. Aha. Look at that. The joys of CD-based gaming in 2026 with a CD from 1995 in an old system. And the CD, I don't think it has that many scratches, but look at, here we are. Here we are. And funny enough, you can open the door and it's still there. I mean, it does have some scuff marks. I hope that isn't. We got to start over. It's done. Once that happens, it's done. The disc skipped. The disc stopped. Froze. Yep. Hey, I mean, you know, there is one benefit of the digital world where your game isn't going to freeze. I mean, it could if you're playing online. But I guess that's one benefit, right? On a Nintendo Switch, it's a benefit to have it on the cartridge, because then you definitely won't be having that happen unless you have a dirty cartridge blowing it like the old Nintendo days. Uh-oh. Has it decided to take a crap and now it doesn't want to play? Could we be playing this on an emulator or something like that, or some kind of flash cart or something like that for the PlayStation? Yes, we could, but I'm trying to keep it OG. I'm trying to keep it original hardware like I do. And now here we are. It doesn't want to play. I'm not cutting this out, because this is how it goes. This is how it goes. Yep. Surprised we played as much of it as we did, quite honestly. Let's try it one more time. If we can't get it to go, then we can't get it to go. At least we tried. I was wanting to get one of them flash cart setups for the PlayStation like I have for the Saturn, because that makes it nicer when you really want to just get the gameplay, footage of the gameplay on original hardware, but not have to, well, deal with this, where the disc is going to skip or it's not going to load or anything like that. So it does make life easier when you're trying to film something. But again, if this is what you had, and I mean, the disc, it doesn't have that many scuffs on it, and they're not even that bad. It should work. But again, the laser is probably getting weak in the old PS1 system here. It's still my original PlayStation 1 system, my original PSX. And I'm surprised it's still going. I've honestly anticipated having to change out the laser at some point, but it still seems to play, so I haven't. Like, games, discs where it's a mint disc, no scratches at all, it plays fine. We're not even going to mess with the settings. We're going to play just a couple more matches here. Since that happened, you know it's going to happen again. You know it's going to happen again. So we'll just play a couple more matches here. Those are the joys of CD gaming. Yes, sir. That's the way it goes. Oh, shit. Here we go. And if we're talking about hip stuff, I do like the music for the street in MK3. It's a nice little hip-hop remix of the Courtyard theme, which I always found really cool. Back in the day when you walked into the arcade and first seen this game, and you heard that, you're like, hold up. It's like that. It's like a hip remix of the Courtyard, which I thought was cool. I did like that. I did like that. Whoop. Wow, I didn't realize the time was so short. Felt like I had more time there. Guess not. Guess not. We'll do one more match. One more match. I just wanted to come on here and play a little bit of these games that weren't included in the Legacy Collection. Make a little series out of it. No particular order. Again, it's just whatever we're going to throw on here at whatever given moment. So today was the original MK3 on PlayStation. Next video, we'll probably do MK4 on PlayStation. So again, no particular order. Because we have UMK3 on Genesis. We have original Mortal Kombat on Sega CD. We have all of the Sega Saturn Mortal Kombats. Did not make it. Which, yeah, couldn't have at least put one of the Mortal Kombats from Sega Saturn on there. You know? Oh, well. Oh, well, what are you going to do, right? That's just the way it goes. But there you go. A little bit of gameplay from Mortal Kombat 3 on the PlayStation. That's right. My faded, old, beat-up copy of Mortal Kombat 3 on the PlayStation. Which I love this, because when this first came out, man, it was the definitive arcade edition, right? The closest thing to the arcade you could possibly get when this came out at the time. I mean, you had your Super Nintendo and Genesis versions, but when this came out, it was like, oh man, yes. This was just amazing, and I played the ever-living hell out of this back in the day when it first came out, when I first got my PlayStation. Yeah, loading or no loading, this was awesome. And the same goes for Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 on the Saturn. I had a Saturn. Actually, I had a Saturn first before I had the PlayStation. I was one of those early adopters of the Sega Saturn. Being a Sega guy, a Sega kid at the time, my whole allowance went straight into the Sega Saturn, okay? So I had that first, but then I got the PlayStation. And then when they announced or released Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 for the Sega Saturn, absolutely had to have it. And yes, we will play that in this video series. So if you like this kind of thing, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're notified when I upload more videos. And when we play more, we'll try to play deeper into these games. This one has always been finicky. I'm surprised we got as much in as we did. So I just wanted to play a little bit of it to show you guys what that was like and whatnot. So next up, we'll probably do MK4 on PlayStation. I think that one works a little better because I don't think the disc has any scratches on it. And yeah, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, with that said, I will catch you all down the road.